What is up? Yeah, back at it. What we need right now is a review. Because sometimes when you going on class, you going down the road, sometimes you forget where you came from, and sometimes you forget what you've been through, and you fall into old problems. And that's basically, to me, what's happening to Black America right now. So let's review. From the time Obama came in there, we've been getting our asses kicked by the state. And that came to fruition at a high point in 2020 with the George Floyd riots. We were rioting all before that for years and years, a city here and a city there. But in my opinion, mixed with COVID, that we were locked down, it was just so much on us. Plus watching us getting killed with impunity by the state. That when we seen that George Floyd shit, that made us snap. And it was shocking because it was like a collective spiritual snap. It wasn't just one city. It was like 5 cities or 8 cities all on fire. And we scared the shit out of white people because they never thought that we'd all unify and fuck up shit. If we're ready to fuck up the police, that's the first line of defense. I mean, before you get to any white person with their guns or whatever like that, if we're fucking throwing shit at the police, going off on them, killing the police, well, that's the first line of defense. Then you got to call in the army and the National Guard and yada yada yada. And we was even going to town with them and shit a little bit. So we didn't even give a fuck at that point. We were stressed out, and when we are emotional people, we just want hams. And some other people was out there going hams with us too, and that really scares the state and the collective of whiteness who enjoy white supremacy, who enjoy white people being at the top, who enjoy that they're just above other people, namely black people. White people are the highest class in America. Black people are the lowest class. Black Americans are currently pissed at that because we've had other people who weren't here in the 60s and the 70s come over here and just completely attack us. Like, what's the Indian boy who was running for president? Him coming over here talking shit about us, that we're lazy and all this shit, and this motherfucker is an anchor baby. Vivek Ramaswamy, that's his name, born 1985. You know, neither one of Vivek's parents are Americans. They're still not American citizens. The only reason Vivek is an American is because of the 14th Amendment, because of us, because he was born there. And that's some shit we gotta change. So we got people like that coming over here and just talking bad to us. It's when you deal with these people from other countries that come to America, they try to act like you're the black people in their country, because black people in India are at the bottom of the bottom. Black people in Dominican Republic, Latin America, all over the world are the bottom caste. You smack the shit out of them and they ain't gonna do nothing. And then you run into these black people, these African Americans, and you say the wrong thing to us and we'll jump over the table and get in your ass. Until you leave the country and you travel around Africa, you travel around Latin America, you don't really realize that. You're going to realize our culture. We're one of the few blacks on earth, not the only ones, but we're one of the few who got this pride thing. We got too much pride. If you insult us, we're going to whoop your ass. That's a far cry from how black people are in Dominican Republic, how black people are even in Africa. White people are gods in Africa. You know, it's different place by place. When you go down to the southern region, Namibia, South Africa, Zimbabwe, a few other places, they had apartheid. So there's that animosity and racial struggle there. That's why I recommend that place. But other places, the white man is God and black people are nothing. And all black people do is argue and fight with each other. So a lot of them, they do bring that there. Now, some of them, they come here and they do wake up because they go through racism and they wake up. So what do we got going on right now? We got basically a psyop. And the psyop is saying that other black people from other nations are our biggest threat to the African American. Now, they are a problem. They're coming over here cooning. But if you talk about the top 3 problems that we got, I mean, lower education, out of wedlock births, bastards everywhere, shooting each other, killing each other, getting killed by the cops completely getting off, white people attacking us now, getting bolder and bolder. Other black people cooning is at the end of the spectrum, but you see, weak people need a weak opponent. And that's the enemy knows that. There is problems with them. So the enemy is using that against us. There is a truth to it, but that's not the main thing. But black people are taking the hook and the bait. Oh, you know what it is? It's these tethers, it's these other people here. They're the main problem. They're the main problem. Man, that is not our fucking main problem. We got way bigger issues. Now let's go back to review of how we got into this shit. We had our own shit. We had our own towns. We had our own businesses. We were doing all right in the 50s. We were going through a lot of racism. We had problems, but we were doing all right. Let's be honest. The old niggas, the boomers got us in this shit. People are crying about integration now and talking about separation. I'm gonna get to this in the end. We can't separate from these people. Even when we had segregation, we were still right next to them. So there's nothing we can do about that. But these old niggas wanting to be up in there with white folks, they threw all their shit away and ran for the first chance to go be up next to them, to have sex with white people, and to just be all up on they nuts. And that was their dream. They didn't want reparations. They didn't want their 40 acres and a mule. All they wanted was, let me run up into white folks. Let me go in a restaurant with white people. And that's the honest to God truth. And I'm glad about my generation. It started with Generation X a little bit. Half of them is coons and half of them woke up. But it's mainly the millennials and going down now to Gen Z that we're finally waking up to, like, yo, we don't give a fuck about integration and being next to you people. And me personally, I deal with white people every day. I'm the fucking man in the office. The only black dude in there. Handling shit. I'm the leader of the project. I go up and talk to the CEOs and shit. Just my black ass. I don't have a problem with them or anything, but I have a problem with the greater society. We got people like Matt Walsh over here complaining every day why he can't say the word nigger. Why do you want to call me a nigger, Matt Walsh? You don't want to insult Asians. Do you want to call Asians Asian slurs or brown people slurs? Just black people. Why? Because the Western European, and this is another video, he has some type of sick obsession with the black man. He wants the black man to be subservient to him and bow down to him. But at the same time, he has like a secret homosexual obsession with the black man. That's why we're the main people in sports and entertainment. Seeing us fly through the air and our muscles and doing all this crazy shit. There's a slight form of homosexuality to that. Somewhere. These people worship us on one thing, and then on the other platform, they hate us and want us to bow down. It's a very, very sick and crazy situation that we're in. And we got to realize that. That's what the greater society wants. Half of them, at least. They want to be able to go in the park and call you a nigger and have you bow down to them whenever they want. Because really, they come from a society where they were all peasants. And they don't want to be that. They want somebody, it's called Untermensch, which means lower man in German. And we're that of the society. And other people from other places think that we should be that of the society too. That we should be bowing down to Indians coming over here and Lebanese and all this shit. And even some Africans and Caribbeans are like, they're gonna jump over us and be the tools of white supremacy, go on MSNBC and be the talking point for black people, and you ain't even from here. There is a problem with that, but that's not our number one problem. Our number one problem is we are not in control of our own destiny. And this is how we're going to use the psyop against them with some hi-ya shit. Okay, so we finally realize that we are our own people. We're our own ethnicity. We're not just some random black people that anybody could just come and take from and just, we ain't nothing and we nobody, yada yada. No, we're our own ethnicity. We got our own culture. We got our own way of thinking. And it is time that we thought that. But in thinking that, we have to take it a step farther. Not just, let's get the tethers out of there, but let's be in control of our own destiny. If Black America wants to go to the moon, can we go to the moon? No, we got to go ask Mr. Charlie. Hey, Mr. Charlie, we want to go to the moon. Can we do that? We want to build a rocket and go to the moon. Can we do that? No, not right now, Negro. We got to ask them for everything. But if they want to go to Mars, they can go to Mars. We're not in control of our own destiny. We can't even, we can't even circulate our money with each other. Alright, so What should we do here? Let's look at the Native Americans. If the Choctaw want to be around the Choctaw and circulate their money amongst each other, they can't. Why? Because they have a reservation. They have land to build on and to do whatever they want, and they all stay there, and the money has to circulate around them because they're all there. Now, the problem with the Native American, why the Native American folded and why they really don't fear the Native American never unified like us. They're still beefing between Choctaw, Cherokee, the so-called civilized and uncivilized. Man, the Seminoles still hate the Creek till this day. Instead of them all going to one place and be like, okay, this is our land, we're going to all build one reservation here and we're going to stick together from now on. They ain't doing that, and that's why there's only 5 million left of the Native Americans, and they're about to become extinct. And that shit could definitely happen to us. All this bullshit about y'all walking around with this, that I'm an American and all this shit and the rules apply. The rules don't apply to you. The Constitution was not written for Negroes, and we just have to understand that. We didn't, all the way to the Dred Scott decision, we were just property. And it can go back to that. You see, they just erased the abortion rights for women. So you think they can't erase civil rights? And then the other thing, you guys, we're not Americans. You need to get that shit up. We're Black Americans. Literally and figuratively, we're Black people. We're something that's not wanted and hated. And it's the truth, and it hurts y'all. And y'all think that if y'all just attack other people and attack the other blacks and try to act like these racist motherfuckers, that somehow we're going to blend into this shit. We can't blend in. We got Negroes going around being the spear tip for white supremacy, trying to overturn the progress that we are trying to make in Africa. And that's a problem. I'm not going to walk around the world helping this man conquer and helping white supremacy succeed just for a pat on the head and a few medals. Because in an instant, that shit could turn on us. Whenever somebody wants to call you a nigger in the park or make you the Untermensch, they can. And you have to deal with that in this society. Even if you are a general, it doesn't matter. Even if you're the president, you became the president, it doesn't matter. You are the Untermensch. So what should we do? My solution for currently right now is we should push for the 40 acres. We need a reservation. Imagine we have our own land that you can only come on with permits, and we build a beautiful city there. We'll circulate the dollar, we'll circulate our money amongst each other, we'll become powerful. Because right now, if the lights go out, and let's say that there's like a civil war, let's say Donald Trump gets assassinated, white people are going to go off. They're going to go off amongst each other. They're going to have a civil war. And we're going to get the Palestinian treatment. If America goes to war with China and Russia and they lose, and they might lose, I know you don't think Mr. Charlie can lose, but they might lose, they're going to blame us for that. And we're going to get the Palestinian treatment. All that, Black people live in fantasy land. We have no defense against airstrikes. We don't even got a basic militia right now for tanks coming in the hood. If somebody ran through the hood with a 50 cal on a Jeep and started gunning us down, we have very little defenses against that. We are not ready. But you ask people, hey, let's go for this 40 acres. All right, the reparations is nice, but let's go for 40 acres. So at least when we're old, we got land to retire on. Something to build on. But no, let's not do that. No. Really? Because one, you're scared that Mr. Charlie's going to be mad. And he is going to be mad because that's the ultimate offense, to tell this motherfucker that we don't need him. But two, you don't think you could do it without him. Yes, we will be responsible for picking up the trash, for the water being clean, for the electricity going on. We'll be responsible for all that. And you don't think we could do that because a lot of y'all are just pathetic. But it's the truth. But me, I want power. Like Amos Wilson said. Reparations, money is not power. Money, it can be used for power, but that's not true power. When we have unity and a culture that we are together and we're going for something, that's power. Jews' power isn't in their money. Their power is in their togetherness. They're all Jews. They're one people. First thing first, let's get our own land. Okay, now they got Israel. Now they go around the world using their money, using entertainment, us, to take over, to have influence all around the world. We don't want that. We just want to be hugging on to Mr. Charlie's ankles for the next 200 years until we get exterminated. And that ain't me. So we got to make our own decision here. We got to stop bullshitting. It's time. And it's time to spread the word. All these people with all this bullshit and this, it's the tethers, yada, yada, yada. You know, you shut them up, go, hey, all right. Let's say we get the tethers out of here. Do you want your own land? How do you feel about that? Shouldn't we have a res just like the Choctaw? Them niggas will shut up real quick. Because Black America loves to complain, but when you give them a solution that they have to be in charge and take care of themselves, then they get quiet. It's like being in your parents' house. You don't like your parents' rules, get out. Go get your own place. We don't want to do that. People say, we'll go back to Africa, and we couldn't do that if we wanted to. And we're not doing that. We ain't going nowhere. We're taking some land right here. That's the goal. And niggas got to stop complaining, blaming other people. And yeah, we might have to change some rules about who can claim African American and who can't, but that's not our top 3 problems. Our top 3 problems are education and security and unity. And we ain't got that shit. And we ain't going to have that shit until we get our own land. So that's the call right now. Enough of the bullshit, let's bring segregation back. Nigga, no. We need our own land. We need a few thousand acres to build on, and we have our own shit. Now you tell me that wouldn't be good, that wouldn't be great, that we could point to something, yo, this is our city over here, we got our own shit, we built it ourselves. And no one can come on it unless you got a permit. That wouldn't be good, but you see, you niggas is gonna have to be in control of yourself, and you're gonna have to take care of it yourself. And a lot of you do not want that. The time for crying and all that shit is at the end. The time for pointing fingers and blaming anyone else is at the end. I do believe this is God getting us ready, because another thing, if America does lose a war and it breaks up, nobody else is responsible for taking care of us. If they have, little compounds and shit, Mr. Charlie's not required to open the door and let us in. We're gonna have to take care of ourselves eventually here at some point. Better now than later. So let's get that land. What's the call? We need our own land. 40 acres. Y'all stay up. 1.